This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the 2014 Indonesian action thriller, The Raid 2. Plus, new trailer for The Flash is out. The Blade movie gets a rewrite. Crazy, fantastic forecasting rumors are flying around everywhere. First reactions to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are out. Sylvester Stallone is rebooting one of his action movies from the 90s and more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, May 1st, 2023.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
We jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV, and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining
We'll
us...
peep you next time.
We will not peep you next time.
Fuck.
Stop
Doing
trying
that.
to end the show right as it begins with your
He's got stuff to do.
Your Pavlovian. Anthony's got a hot list of things to do. Also joining us, this is random. He is the famous disgraced children's television show host, Bobby Bukkake, but we call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I stopped using that name, Imran.
Bobby Bukkake.
Ever since they threw me in that group with Pee Wee Herman and the guy who used to play Elmo.
Yeah, all you
I don't
guys.
use that name anymore.
You're troublemakers. You may have
I
noticed.
changed my name to Rug Boy, goddammit.
I remember when Bobby Bukkake snuck onto Pee Wee's Playhouse in the background. You were dressed as Cherry. It was hilarious.
Sit on me, please.
Trying to get people to sit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You wrote Bobby Bukkake, and I came up with a backstory.
Yeah, if you don't know, when we start the show, we all give ourselves a little name.
And they're quite hilarious names, and Anthony tries to shove my name with whatever we're talking about, and it's just a little joke that only we see, so I don't know why we're mentioning it.
It's a little name in our chat, so
yeah.
It really, you can't tell. You don't know what we're talking about here.
It might become a thing on the show. You never know.
Bobby Bukkake live from BukkakeCon 2023. All right, enough about Bukkake, everyone. Stop saying Bukkake. Now I can't stop. Anyways, we got a great show planned. I have a great show planned. You can decide for yourself. I've got another action movie to review and a bunch of geek news that broke this week. Let's get to it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
As I said last week, there was a thing called CinemaCon in Las Vegas, where all the exhibitors go, all the theater owners and other critics, and the movie theaters come out, and it's becoming to be like another little film festival. They release a lot of things. You get to watch whole movies, and this year they played the whole entirety of The Flash special presentation. Ezra Miller in The Flash coming out in June to the CinemaCon audience. So there's going to be spoilers, there's early reactions, and there's a new trailer number 2. There's actually a couple of new trailers. There's an international trailer with even more footage. But before we get to the reactions, and we'll see if we think the hype is real here. Let's talk about this trailer. A lot of fun things. We get a lot more Michael Keaton Batman, which I love. And what did you guys think? Are we just going to get Michael Keaton doing every line from Batman 89 in this movie? Because I got excited when he goes, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
Geek boner.
They already did the I'm Batman, and I'm like, oh, you're just going to do all the lines from fucking Batman 89, aren't you?
Well, he said that when he was Bruce Wayne. Did he say it when he was... I didn't watch the trailer because I don't want to get spoiled.
Oh,
Whoa, he didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, Rose. No. Well, fuck you then. No, he said it in the Batcave with he's wearing the suit but not the cowl. Anyways,
Well, don't ask Ruggs' opinion on this.
Yeah, fuck off, Ruggs.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
You son of a bitch.
Lame.
There's some spotty CGI,
Okay.
but other than that, I thought this was a really good trailer. It was properly cut where it was. You got a little bit of the story. You get the setup. You get that Ezra Barry Allen Flash, played by Ezra, went back in time and screwed it up things, trying to save his mom. And you get that, and you get Michael Keaton, and then you get Supergirl, Michael Keaton playing Batman, and then you also get Ben Affleck playing Batman. And it's just cut really well. There's good music. You get all the nostalgia. You get it looks like there's a lot of action. It looks like it could be a heartfelt story about Barry Allen trying to save his mom and screwing things up. There's the connection with Michael Keaton or Batman saying that he tried to save his parents. They hit all the emotional beats, and then the end with all the different logos. It was really well done. I was pumped after I saw the trailer.
The end where you see the Ben Affleck Batman logo and the '89 Batman logo, and then the Flash logo.
No, and the Superman logo.
Oh, and the Superman logo. Yeah, and there's that moment in the trailer. Sasha Kelly, Supergirl, is like, you know what this S means, right? And Barry's like, doesn't mean hope. You see Zod attack the fucking bat plane, and Keaton's Batman's got to jump out. That shit was dope. And then you see the other bat suit, the other Barry Allen wearing the Batman suit with the ears cut off and just spray painted on top. That's kind of neat too. But yeah, it got me geek boner. Got me more geek boner than so. If you Ruggs, you didn't see that trailer, I'm not even gonna bother talking about this international trailer, which has a fun Japanese voiceover dude over it. But some actual dialogue, more dialogue from the movie. Did you watch that one, Anthony? What did you think of that one? Anything?
I watched that one. That one was not as good as the American trailer, but
it's different.
I won't pretend to have a Japanese sensibility, so
they know
it definitely was way different.
Yeah, well, they know what they got.
Different tone.
Yeah. But this is a lot of people have seen this movie. It's not coming out till when? June? I said.
June?
Yeah. Did any of you guys see the early reactions out of CinemaCon for Flash?
I did not.
Well, initially, everybody on Twitter, like your Eric Davis and a couple other people saying, believe the hype, and this is hands down the best superhero movie ever made. Lots of Easter eggs. Yes, but I've also heard from some people like Jeff Schneider over on the Hot Mic podcast with John Roca and Jeff Schneider. He said the first half an hour is great, and he said the third act is a mess. And we know a lot of things have been cut and changed, and cameos were shot and removed as they're trying to figure out. I feel like they're trying to figure out how to end this movie with James Gunn, Peter Safran rebooting.
I'm seeing a much more in these more positive.
Yeah, in the one Hollywood Reporter article, they do put all the positive things, but calling it madcap and crazy as good as one dude said it's Back to the Future meets Spider-Man No Way Home. That's kind of an interesting mashup. So largely people liking it, but I'm definitely going to temper my expectations going into
I think
this.
It looks pretty cool, pretty good.
It does look good, but if I go into it going, everybody says it's the best comic book movie ever, I'm going to be, I know.
No, that's automatically
that.
No, I can't do that.
reason to raise an eyebrow or two.
Yeah, I start there, right? I'm going to go in thinking it's shit. But, so here's some of the cameos that are confirmed have been cut. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot were cut, and then he revealed that his 4-hour cut, he had a lot more cameos, like Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, Marlon Brando's Jor-El from 78 Superman, Burgess Meredith's Penguin, Cesar Romero's Joker from the 60s Batman TV, and apparently even Grant Gustin was in line to cameo at one point, which would make sense if they do like they did on the TV show with Dick Ward walking his dog. Remember when they had everybody? I was like, holy shit, they brought all these people back for a hot second. All those were cut, and we'll see. I think
there's supposed to be some more stuff though.
Well, yes. Who said? Somebody just said there's one. Oh, I listened to this other podcast. The guy who was at CinemaCon, he said there's one ludicrous cameo in there that everybody just started.
Ludacris is in this?
Yeah, not Luda. Luda. Not a cameo by Ludacris, but a Ludacris as an adjective cameo. Yes. A ridiculous cameo. People were laughing, but they had a lot of fun. So, yeah, no, I see the heart and emotion in this, and the fucking Ben Affleck's Batman looks cool. I'm the hype. I don't know. Is the hype? You can't go in with this hype.
You think it's going to be Christopher Reeves?
Oh shit! I don't know if that would make you laugh though. I would be like, oh my god. But because they could easily deep fake a fucking Chris Reeves Superman in here, couldn't they?
Now they can, sure.
Holy shit! I just don't.
I imagine James Gunn cast Christopher Reeves as Superman.
Oh jeez,
deep fake Chris Reeves. Dude, he was jacked. Did you see that one photo floating around of him? There was like a picture of him and Margot Robbie on the set, and he had a shirt off. And dude, Christopher Reeves was fucking jacked for that movie.
Christopher Reeves?
Yeah. Have you not seen
Margot Robbie? Are you?
Not Margot Robbie. Margot Kidder.
Oh my god!
Unless somebody photoshopped that.
What the fuck are you smoking, Imran?
Right now?
I'm smoking everything. You should fucking know that by now. Listen, they got good shit in the Midwest. That's all I'm saying. Margot Kidder played Lois Lane, of course.
He was jacked. He bulked up a lot. By the time Superman 3 came out, he was pretty diesel.
Yeah. So as this Flash movie comes closer to coming out, I have a feeling they're going to rely on this hype to sell this fucking movie, and we'll see what kind of numbers it does. But yes, I'm not going in full geek boner on this, just because even though they're saying it is. Listener, let us know what you thought of these new Flash trailers. You can join this conversation. You could join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. There is a link in the episode description. It is a closed, exclusive group just for you, listener. We post a bunch of geeky things. And by the time this show posts, so quick update on our 21st Century Action Movie Tournament. If you are on the Patreon, you may have seen we have selected 40 movies. They're locked in. By the time this show posts, I will post in the Facebook group the list of 40 movies. And for the nation there, we're going to do the same thing we did in the last one. Try to pick who makes the top 4. Leave your selections in the comments. What will be the final 4 of these 21st Century Action movies? You may win a t-shirt. Wes Cranford won a t-shirt. He only got 2 right. So that's how loosey-goosey we are with the movies. So,
closest anyone gets.
The close, and if there's several, then it goes into a raffle and blah, blah, blah. But this one's going to be a hard one. There's more movies. They're all really good movies.
I think this is going to be a very tough one.
So it should be a fun exercise. And that way you can watch some of the movies and catch up as we're going to review some moving forward. But that's all in the Facebook group. You know what? I'll put a link in the episode description. If you're not on Facebook, you can click it and it will give you the list of movies. So look for that in the episode notes. Okay, sticking with Warner Brothers, let's talk about this James Gunn Superman movie for a second. The most important part is casting Superman.
Right.
What do you think this person needs? What do you think James Gunn is looking for in a new Superman here? A Superman that's a little younger?
A great ass.
Yes, Superman does need to have a great ass. I'll agree. It's got to look good.
Well, if you're going to wear a cape, you're going to hide the ass. But, just knowing it's there is important.
But I feel like you want someone who has heart, who you can connect with, and has a little bit of humor.
I think you said something about you should be able to hug him.
Oh, yes. You want a Superman to be huggable, no?
So he's got like a dad bod, is what we're talking about?
Bulky arms and round and punchy in the middle. Anthony, do you want to be able to have a Superman you want to hug? Is that the reaction you want?
Well, I don't know if I'd personally hug him, but I do see where he would be going with that. Usually Superman's a pretty square-jawed guy.
Yeah, rectangle head.
But, broad shoulders, tall.
Beefy.
We all kind of know what Superman looks like.
Looks just like Josh Gad, but he's playing Wonder Man.
Well, yeah, Josh Gad is going to be in the MCU. He's not playing Wonder Man. He will be in that Wonder Man TV show.
Oh.
Deadline reporter Justin Kroll has confirmed casting is underway. And he says, while I'm not sure on exact timing when it comes to Superman, I've been told audition tapes are still being submitted. Every rep who has a client that submitted one has been told that Gunn and Safran plan to watch every one. I'd say a decision will come closer to Comic-Con. So there's a bunch of rumors going around of who is in the running. Right. I have a rumor. Have you heard this from the same dude, Jeff Schneider, talked about this on that last show. This is a real interesting one because you also kind of want someone maybe who's not a big name. You know, when you think of Henry Cavill, did people know Henry Cavill when he got cast?
Timothy Chalamet.
Tim Chalamet. Oh my God. Tim Chalamet. Hey, if they can bulk him up. If they can bulk up Chris Pratt, they can bulk up anybody.
Let's find another comedian that we could force into this role.
But no, you want someone to not be a big name so you can believe he's Superman. Jeff Schneider put out a name.
Right.
And this dude's name is Harris Dickinson. I know what you're thinking.
All right.
Who the fuck is that? Do you know
I'm looking it up right now.
Harris Dickinson, Ruggs, you will remember most recently from Triangle of Sadness. He plays Carl, the lead model guy with the girl who the whole movie starts with.
Okay. He's got a little bit of a Christopher Reeve-ish. He's a little Christopher Reeve-ish, I would say.
He's got the height, and he could definitely get bulked up.
He's a good actor.
He was in Where the Crawdads Sing. You could dye his hair and shit also.
Right.
Anthony, you see this picture of this guy? If you click that link there, where it says Superman casting rumor, you will see Harris Dickinson.
Let's see this guy. Maybe. Yeah, sure.
I mean, he's young enough, right? And he's kind of unknown enough.
Why can't we get an American playing Superman?
Yeah, another British dude like Henry Cavill. The Brits
It's distracting.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
No, you're right. The Brits every Superman has to be fucking British after Cavill.
Why? Well, not every, just the last one, right? Henry Cavill.
Listen, the day they do that is the day they cast an American to play fucking James Bond. That's when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
They should do that.
I mean, this guy's looks pretty tall and broad shouldered. I'm sure he could pack some weight. He's got a big frame. Is he tall? Looks tall.
He is tall. No, yeah, he's pretty tall if you look at some of these photos. He was good in Triangle of Sadness. He
was good in that.
Yeah, he's got the chop. So I wouldn't be mad, but this is all still up in the air, clearly. I think they're still looking. But it's going to be important. That's that's the important part of the cast.
There's so many people that could do it. It really comes down to who can really embody the voice and the material.
The charisma and the screen presence.
Yeah, you gotta feel that the guy is beyond human.
Yeah, but he's also got to be relatable too, right? So Superman and Lois is on. I've been watching it. The show is so fucking good. Tyler Hoechlin, Superman he's really good. The stuff they give him is really good.
Yeah, but he's got kind of a villain face for some reason, I think.
Maybe a little bit. He has that constant 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing going, which makes him look like, Dark Superman or whatever. Look, can I just tell you one thing? If you have been watching the show, season 3, a little bit of spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
This is what they've done, but it's amazing. They have Lois has breast cancer on Superman and Lois. It's a big fucking thing, right? And they've tied in the storyline with this villain who runs a cancer therapy place, and she's there. She's investigating. But Clark is training his son Jordan, who has powers, and he cannot admit that Lois is going to die. He's so freaked out about it. He doesn't want to talk about it, that he's being really overprotective of Jordan, won't let him go and do any saves, even though the kid has been training, he's proven himself. And there's a great conversation in this last episode where he finally breaks down. He tells Lois, look, I have all these powers and I can't fucking save you. And I can't think that, I can lose you. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, they threw in this cancer thing and that hit me right away because there's a lot of cancer in my family that I've associated with, that I've been through. So I was like, fuck this. They made this real, and it's pretty ballsy to give Lois Lane breast cancer, I think, but it's so good.
They did that in, in
the movie.
No, not the movie. I'm talking about, they did this in the comics. It was called, it was a Spider-Man comic in 84. Amazing Spider-Man 248.
Yeah.
The kid who collects Spider-Man.
Yes, that is such a great episode.
The kid also has some sort of deathly illness, terminal disease.
You don't find out until the end, right?
Right.
It starts
and then
with
Spider-Man
him.
visits him, and then, it's one of those things where he has all these powers, but he can't save him.
Yeah, you don't find he hangs out with him the whole day and tells him stories, and then you find out at the end that the kid is terminally ill. You're like, oh my God. This is a great standalone issue.
No, those are good though. Those are good story. Like not good in terms of like the most enjoyable, but those are always interesting storylines where they have the hero that can't save someone.
Right. And but nowadays it makes it like really relatable.
Right.
When you're watching.
They kind of did that in Black Panther with a real, a real life thing.
Yeah.
At the beginning of it starts with, I think Boseman's character has some sort of disease, Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
They can't save him despite all the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was probably an emotional episode.
Yeah, no, this whole season has been emotional. So, like, this cancer story is this whole season. So, anyways, they're doing a good job over there with that Superman.
Well, she's not going to die.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to kill Lois Lane, are you? Like, that would be fucking ballsy for CW to kill fucking Lois Lane.
That would be a weird show. So it's actually
pretty good, huh? That show. I hear good things.
It's quite good. It's quite good. I find myself getting in the feels several times, and I'm like, man.
Does it feel like Superman for reals, though?
It feels like a Superman who has a family and has kids.
Like a depowered Superman? Or
no, he's not depowered. Although he does get fucking ambushed and beat down a lot of times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the way he plays them is so like down to earth and sincere, and I mean it's a little soap opera, of course.
But that's great because they know it works. The formula is working on the show, so they know like, oh, we can take a little bit of this. Seems to be working.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'll tell you what's not working. Let's move on to some MCU news. Apparently, the script for the Blade movie, I don't think is working, as they're trying to start shooting later this year, and they have now hired a new director.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not a director, a writer. They already replaced the director. Basim Tariq was going to direct He Walks. They got Jan Dimanche, who directed Lovecraft Country for HBO. Now they have the old writer, Emmy-nominated screenwriter Michael Starbury, most recent writer to submit a screenplay. They have Hollywood Reporter reporting that Nick Pizzolatto has been tapped to rewrite the screenplay for Blade. Nick Pizzolatto wrote on and I think created The True Detective for HBO, which in season 2 featured Mahershala Ali as the one lead detective dude. So I feel like Mahershala Ali is like, yo, the script is whack. Let me call my boy Nick Pizzolatto and fucking help you guys out. And he is not happy. So, again, Thunderbolts, we heard, is getting a rewrite. The Blade is getting a rewrite. Is this worrisome, or should we be comforted that they're making it right?
Well, the only thing that I would really worry about is if this thing ends up not happening. It seems like it's unraveling instead of coalescing.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is it coalescing and not unraveling. Like it just seems like one thing after another is not working out. And you'd like when things get announced and they're in the creative process, you want to seem like everything's falling into place and like going in a direction that's really cool. And this just seems like it's not.
It's a third writer to write a draft.
So it does give me pause. I don't know if it's going to end up leading to a better product, but I do think that there is like a timeline on this thing where people are just going to be like, fuck it, I'm pulling out. Like you haven't been able to make this movie. It's been a few years already. I'm out. Sorry, like it's taking too long, and I don't see anything coalescing.
Like I
so
can
I'm
see
out.
Mahershala Ali doing that, and I'm surprised that he hasn't. So he must be invested. Anthony, does this make you worry for the Blade movie?
It's not ideal.
No.
First, to be still writing the script as you're about to film next month or this month. There's two ways to look at it. Obviously, there's that. There's they're about to film, not ready, not good, or maybe if you're looking at a glass half full, maybe they're realizing, they still don't have it up to par, and they're not gonna settle for crap right now. They're gonna fix it and make tweaks, and perhaps Mahershala Ali, who's the lead, and has rumors on the internet that he's been upset with this whole process. Maybe he's kind of taking the bull by the horns, and hopefully this works out. So we'll see what happens.
And you know what? They got to do this fucking quick. And I mean, like, right now as we're recording. Why? Because, I don't know if you followed this story, there is a looming writers' strike. The Writers Guild of America, WGA. In fact, the deadline for them to come to a deal is today at midnight, Monday, May 1st, 11:59. They have to come to a deal. They've already been given the go-ahead from the union reps to call for a strike if they don't reach a deal. Now, this could fuck everything up. Last time this happened, it was like 2007. I don't think it was resolved until 2008, and Hollywood lost lots of money. Everything was delayed. Some reports that I heard are it will happen, but it may only be a month. But regardless, if it happens at the end of today, everything has to stop.
See, like, I don't understand why they even allow this to happen. It's just so stupid. Like, they know that this contract is up. They're like, listen, we better fucking get our shit together and come up with a good offer so we can just keep things moving. I don't know why that they've missed the mark so much that there might be a strike.
Well, I think the problem is, and I think this was the problem last time, is they really still haven't figured out how to handle compensation for streaming and the amount of episodes on streaming shows versus the amount of episodes on a network show, and how to get royalties after the fact. What happens if this thing goes to different streaming platforms? Like, I don't think they have that. They still haven't figured that shit out.
I think someone can,
because
I think that I don't think it's they've been running this model for like 3 or 4 years now, right? Like not Netflix and Amazon have been doing it longer, and Hulu, but they know what generates what and how content moves around.
Yeah, but they don't want to pay the writers, and they're skirting around certain things with something called mini writers room. I heard about on this other podcast where it's like less people to make it a full writers room, so they don't have to give them full scale. They're fucking these writers who are essentially the most important part of the creative process is the fucking writing. That's the very beginning.
Yeah, I think it's a very simple solution, and I don't know. I feel like that it's going to take a strike for them to fucking pony up and do what's right.
Yeah, we'll know by the time this show posts. You'll know, listener, what happened if you are following this story.
Look, the music business can't strike. And look how fucked they are.
Yeah.
So I think that if you have a guild, if you have a way to strike, you should do it. So.
Yeah, it's the only way that's going to get them to like sit down and figure it out. Okay, let's move on to another thing. The Fantastic Four movie coming out from Marvel in 2025. Holy shit, they need to put out the cast of this movie right now because there has been so many rumors. We talked about some last week. Have you guys seen any articles this week? All these.
I have.
Oh, okay, Anthony. What are some of the things you have seen?
Oh, well, we know about Adam Driver maybe as Mr. Fantastic. Yep. They're saying Margot Robbie as Sue Storm.
Apparently, Margot Robbie was offered the role. If that is the story, we don't know if she's going to accept Margot Robbie, awesome. Barbie, Harley Quinn, and now Sue Storm. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's just great. What they did with the first one. They took the hottest chick in the world and made her invisible.
Yeah. Jessica
Alba? Yeah. Okay, let's do the next movie with Margot Robbie.
No, you can't see me.
Margot Robbie's a much better actress than Jessica
That's
Alba.
A huge gap. But like with Margot Robbie, okay, if you're Margot Robbie right now and they offered you this role, would you take it where you are in your career now?
I don't think so. But
what motivates her? I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about money,
yeah,
it's probably going to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's the type of thing where it might make a lot of money, and you add Margot Robbie to it, and it'll make more money.
Sure,
she's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Absolutely.
I saw that. Go ahead.
I think the payday for Marvel's probably a little bit better than DC because DC's movies tend to do terribly at the box office. So, and sequels are not the greatest. And
that's true. You know. Yeah. If she was smart, she would do like a deal with box office points or something.
She probably does.
What else have you seen, Anthony?
Oh, well, there was one that I saw from my there's two more that I can talk about. There's one that I saw from my friends and I just went, no freaking way.
Yeah.
And that one was Mila Kunis as the Thing?
Okay, this is a rumor that was going around. Yes.
Is that real?
You know what? I have no idea. Here's what
that would be the dumbest decision in the damn world.
So last week we talked about her name in being in the running for Sue Storm. Then I see this article where they say they're looking at male and female actors for the Thing. They want him to be Jewish, him or her. That Mila Kunis is actually being looked at for the Thing. Then I see an article, Mila Kunis herself saying, I'm not in the Fantastic Four, but I know who is. So I think I don't think that's going to happen.
That one,
that was wild.
My jaw dropped going, that's so stupid.
Wasn't there a female Thing for a few comics?
I believe there was it
the blind chick that was a female Thing? His girlfriend or no?
That was his girlfriend. That's right.
Crystal or whatever.
Oh, no, Sharon Ventura.
That's the one. That's the female Sharon. Yes. She-Thing, of course, like She-Hulk. Oh my God, there was a She-Thing. First appearance in 1985.
There's a She-Everything.
But this is from the 80s.
Literally every superhero has a counterpart of the opposite sex.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. Can you think of one?
Sharon Ventura, yeah. Huh. As a result of the Power Brokers augmentation treatment.
Okay. She was also a Miss Marvel at one point.
Right.
That'd be. I mean, if you cast her as that, maybe. But if you're just changing the sex on Ben Grimm, that's a tough look.
Yeah. No, you just put a different character in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a weird one. By the way, back to the Mila Kunis thing. I love the memes of. I think Boss Logic. He put the Thing in like what Meg wears from Family Guy because Mila Kunis voices Meg from Family Guy, and it's just the caption is "Shut up, Thing," because they're always like "Shut up, Meg." That's good. That's good. That's funny. Okay, what's the other one?
Antonio Banderas as Galactus.
This is great. This will be the sexiest Galactus voice.
Yes.
The guy who does Puss in Boots. Imagine that voice on Galactus and Galactus going. Oh, Silver Surfer, this planet is delicious. Give me the planet. It's so sexy. This should be amazing. But I could see that working also, though.
Sure.
With Antonio Banderas.
I'm curious. I mean, it sounds like if and when they do Galactus, they're actually going to put a fucking guy, a giant human, I think, is what they're going to do. And then maybe like an Eternal type thing. Maybe Galactus will be rewritten as an Eternal.
He's got to be that size at least.
What if are we going to see a face with a purple helmet? That'd be so crazy.
Dude, they did. You have to. I want to see that Galactus.
What if it was like Arnold?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to eat a planet. I'm going to eat a planet. Come with me into my belly. So regarding that, there's another rumor about Silver Surfer and Galactus reporting that there's going to be a Silver Surfer. Either it's not going to be a Marvel one-shot presentation. It's either going to be a movie or a Disney Plus TV show, and it's going to come out of what happens in Fantastic Four. But he will not be in Fantastic Four, and they may use that other herald, Terrax. Remember Terrax, the Terrible, was one of Galactus's heralds before Thor and Rad, I believe. Which would make sense. The dude looks like Darkseid, Terrax.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, he looks just like Darkseid. So that's the other rumor, but that makes sense. Is you have Galactus and Terrax, and then whatever happens sets up Silver Surfer, because that's a lot to do in a Fantastic Four movie, as we have seen them try to do in the past. The other rumor was Paul Mescal as Johnny Storm. Paul Mescal, who got an Oscar nomination for Afterburn. Nobody knows who he is unless you're like. To movies, but I don't know if that one is that one might already be done. Anyways, they need to put this cast out. I don't know if they're going to wait till San Diego, probably San Diego Comic-Con again.
Yeah, maybe, unless it leaks.
Yeah, because there was Keanu Reeves rumored to play Silver Surfer. Was that a rumor? That'd be interesting.
I think maybe I saw that. He could play Silver Surfer.
But by far, the Mila Kunis thing is like the wildest thing.
That was the wildest
I've seen.
What if the Herald is a female, like a Nova or something?
Oh, it could be a female Herald. That'd be sexy.
Yeah.
It'd be sexy.
Be
or Fire Lord.
Oh.
Yeah, I would have gone Mila Kunis 1, but Antonio Banderas as Galactus 2 is pretty. I mean, that's pretty up there too. Not as ridiculous. Just go, whoa, that's an interesting casting decision.
And then I'm seeing a lot of Twitter people saying Adam Driver is all pretty much but set to be the Reed Richards. Like, you got to have the family. I mean, they're casting everybody at once. So this can be interesting cast regardless. A fun movie. You know what? Another fun movie is coming out this week. Get excited. Geek Boner. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3.
I got my Thursday night tickets.
Me too. And this I'm pretty excited to see this finale. It did premiere. There are first reaction. There is an early tomato meter, Rotten Tomato score out, and initially the first reactions again ranged from best Marvel movie in years, best movie since Endgame. And then the tomato meter came down as they're now at 118 reviews. It's at 77% currently. Even 7 out of 10.
Wow, it wasn't super funny.
Some people,
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, it's so. This one, Variety says, go range from best Marvel movie in years to strangely uneven. I feel like it's going to be really good, and it's just maybe a little uneven and maybe overpacked, but it's not going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be bad. Like, I don't see anybody saying.
I think James Gunn is going to try and like do serious shit, but then it's going to feel out of place in all of his jokiness.
Well, he may have to hold
that's
back.
That's the whole James Gunn thing. Is either is he's going to make jokes and he's able to tie it all together into still an emotional story that you're laughing and kind of crying at, or it's too jokey and the tone is too all over the place. It's just that's his balancing. That's his tightrope act every movie.
But he's not as bad as like Taika was, right? When they let him go all jokey, and I think.
Some people, I mean, I like his style. Some people would argue that the second movie was too jokey. Like Rug Boy. I think Rug Boy would argue that.
Yes, that is my assessment, and I'm sticking to it. I don't think he's a bad filmmaker. I just think that he relies on too many of the same bag of tricks all the time, and he could really ascend to being a great filmmaker if he just didn't do it so much.
Hey, this is an interesting take from Grace Randolph. She said, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has that MCU magic. She goes, James Gunn quickly becoming phenomenal blockbuster director and might deliver a fire Superman movie, but he really needs to stop putting his family and friends in his movies. It's super distracting. It took me out of a whole sequence.
Oh, really?
You know what? It's interesting because I've seen people argue like, look, Scorsese has DiCaprio, Spielberg has his guys. These directors have their people.
Yeah, Sam Raimi put his brother in a movie. Sam Raimi
puts Bruce Campbell and his
say
brother
that one more time. That they're arguing what? That his brother's in it?
Well, Grace Randolph is saying he needs to stop putting his family and friends in the movie. It's taking me out of the movie.
Go stop crying.
She's talking about
everyone. You're absolutely right. Everyone has their people they turn to.
Yeah, the stable.
Nolan does it. Sandler fucking puts all his friends and shit.
I don't care if James Gunn puts his wife or anybody in these movies. Yeah. I just think that when you're in charge of DC and you get rid of every single project except for the one that your wife's in, it just looks bad.
That does look bad.
And not only that, but I think that his wife would make a great Black Canary, and then he missed that opportunity to cast her as Black Canary right there. He could have been like, oh, I'm going to give you an upgraded part in a movie. You look perfect. You'd make the perfect Black Canary.
Now she's Amelia Harcourt like forever now.
Yeah, now she's Amelia Harcourt. And I'm like, so I don't know. I just think I don't care what he does, where he puts stuff in. I just think it's weird when you cancel a slate and you leave the one thing that your wife's in.
But look,
it just looks bad.
We've already seen this right over there on DC. Now he's getting shit for putting Jennifer Holland in and everything. But Kraglin is Sean Gunn, and it's James Gunn's brother. He also does the mocap for Rocket. But I love Kraglin. I don't think he was overused.
I think this is a non-topic.
Yeah, as long as they're doing well, who cares? It's like, I don't mind.
Well, but she goes on to say, she believes James Gunn, if he stopped doing that and pulled back on the sophomore humor, he could be one of the greatest big budget directors working today. He's gotten that good. So
yeah, maybe.
I think I can't wait to see, I feel like
I've seen some pretty good. I browsed through Rotten Tomatoes before we started and saw a lot of people say it was good. A lot of love for it. The people that were saying that wasn't said it was maybe a little bit too ambitious, a little too overstuffed.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's fine. Like this whole unit, these characters, this family, this journey, they all have crazy stories, and there's a lot of characters to serve, right? So you just got to balance that. I hear it's like a very Rocket's story is huge and emotional in this one, but everybody.
Well, it's the High Evolutionary. He makes all those animal people.
We get a little Rocket's origin. But man, I can't wait. I caught up like on Disney Plus. They have that Legends kind of show where it's like 9-minute episodes of every MCU character. They did a whole series on everybody from Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of showing you their whole journey in like 9 minutes. And you forget, man, these people have been through a lot of crazy shit. And it's just been a great ride. So we will have a full review next week, listener. Okay. Got a couple of action movie things. As we love our action movies, we're going to review an amazing action movie momentarily. The first one is, I think this came out of CinemaCon also. Fast 10's got another trailer. And while I'm probably not going to go see this in the theaters, even though I should because it's an action movie, this fucking trailer, again, they're really fun to watch. The trailers are so entertaining. Because at the end of this trailer, fucking Vin Diesel drives his car. He's on the Hoover Dam, yeah. There's 2 big semis coming, and it looks like his kid is in the car with him. And they're about to hit him, and he drives his car off the Hoover Dam as the semis collide and explode, blow up the Hoover Dam as he proceeds to drive vertically down the sheer face of Hoover Dam as it's exploded. His fucking tire is on fire. It's a cool little touch. But I was like, what the shit is this? This is fucking crazy. I don't know, Anthony, what do you think? Is this like, I was kind of digging the action in this trailer here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if I'll see this in the theater either because I stopped following the Fast series after 7. So I haven't seen 8 or 9 or Hobbs and Shaw. Maybe I'll do that one time, just get back into it. But the trailer looks fine. It looks okay. It's pretty on brand at this point. Fast, the series knows what it is, and it's just, let's throw the biggest names in a movie with cars and action scenes, and it's almost kind of a parody of itself at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, as you mentioned, they have a car driving down vertically, like horizontally driving down, or vertically driving down
a wall, essentially.
A wall, like, and then not flipping, just like gravity not taking over.
Yeah. Just perfectly in control.
And then you have the fact that Jason Momoa has been retconned to have been in Fast 5, and you have him, and you have, like, Han is back. Han died, and Han was killed by Jason Statham's character, yet they're teaming up in this movie.
Sure.
And Brie Larson's in it, and Charlize Theron, and John Cena's in it. John Cena seemingly is doing jokes. I thought the last one he was the enemy. So this is what the franchise is.
They're blowing up the Vatican also.
They blew up the Vatican. Yeah. I mean, they're just, this franchise is just.
The Pope's going to be mad. I'll tell you that
It's just a smorgasbord of they just throw everything. They just put everything in it. Anything and everything in an action movie, and then they try to add a scene with a car or 2.
I'm just waiting for the filter on Vin Diesel's face to fully render.
It's still rendering. They're still working on it.
It's going to be ready on the day that it releases.
It does still look like an Instagram filter.
Yeah.
Every time he walks around.
Listen, there's VFX
because then you compare him to Jason Statham, who doesn't look filtered at all, looks old, wrinkly, but not like super old. And you're just like, wait a minute, like, what did
just
they
be
do?
old. It's okay.
Yeah, what is this?
We don't care.
Why does Jason Statham look so glossy? Or not Jason, Vin Diesel looks so glossy.
He's so smooth and shit. What's going on?
Yeah. But he doesn't look young. He just looks smooth and old.
Yes.
Which is not natural.
It's a weird look. Yeah.
Yeah.
They polished him up like a fucking bowling ball. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. All right. Anyways, this movie's crazy. It'll probably make all the money.
I mean, it's one of the biggest action franchises we got.
Still one more.
What's that?
There's one more after this.
Louis Leterrier coming back to do the next one too, part 2.
Louis Leterrier, quick pop quiz. What Marvel movie did he direct?
The Hulk, the Incredible Hulk.
Ed Norton Hulk, which is it's not bad direction. It's not bad action.
Not bad.
Pretty good. Okay, and then the last thing, this ties right into our 90s action movie tournament. Guess who's back, everybody?
Back again.
He's back again. The famous search and rescue mountain climber Gabe Walker.
No.
from Cliffhanger. Yes, Sylvester Stallone
Get the fuck
is
out of here.
rebooting fucking Cliffhanger. They're rebooting it with him.
Oh shit.
He's
They're
in it.
rebooting it with him in it.
Yes, this is a
Why not just
reboot.
do a
Wow.
Why not just do a legacy sequel at that point?
1993's Cliffhanger. Rick Roman Waugh, who is the filmmaker behind Angel Has Fallen and Greenland, will be directing this movie. Greenland's actually really good. I like that
yeah,
one.
I've heard that. I have to watch that one of these days.
And a script by some guy named Mark Bianculli, who wrote Hunters.
Cooley.
And
Sorry.
produced by people who produce Fast and Furious, and Stallone is producing. But yes, fucking is John Lithgow going to be in it? No, he died. Gabe Walker back on the mountain. I don't know how you do this. I don't know.
I mean, with stuntman,
Is he training like new rescue
the
people?
dude is 78 years old or something. He looks great for that age, but I mean, climbing a mountain is not for the old. I don't know. Is there like an 80-year-old mountain climber? Is that a thing?
Well, when you take as much horse steroids as Stallone's probably still taking, maybe it's possible.
Is the dude from Walking Dead still stuck on them? Or fucking Yondu? Is Yondu still up there?
What I love about Stallone is when I look at his career, you can clearly see the effect the steroids had on him, because in the 70s, in the Rocky movies, the early Rocky movies, he was just kind of a guy.
Yeah.
He had a built body, but he wasn't all that cut. And then you get through the 80s and 90s and he's super cut.
Yeah.
And then you get into the 2000s, and for some reason his face got wider, like way wider.
Yeah, something
His
happened.
nose got way
the
wider.
roid face.
Was it roids or like
everything's
collagen?
just so bloated.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like the same. Like the outline is still kind of there, but he's not the same looking guy. Like everything's changed.
He's
in his
not
face.
coloring in the lines anymore. What's going on?
He had a very like narrow face, narrow, like thinner nose, and you look at him now in all these movies, and it's just like, well, how did his face get so wide?
Yeah, it like structurally changed. Did he like bone grafts? I don't know. This is weird.
Surgery and a lot of HGH.
But you know what? I just saw him fight Van Damme last week, and it was fucking great.
Yeah. What was that in? In
Expendables 2.
Oh,
that movie's what, like 6 or 7 years old now? 8 years old?
Yeah, it's old. It's an old movie. It's old by our standards, yeah.
He is going to be in Expendables 4. That is in post-production, and we're all going to see him this week. He's in Guardians 3. Yeah, he plays Stuckar Ogord. Everybody that's in all the Guardians movies is going to be in this movie, so we will see what Stallone looks like.
Still chugging along that Stallone.
But on a Cliffhanger reboot note, I don't know why you would do a reboot and have him in it.
It's
because it's like one of his more like well-reviewed movies, maybe. I don't know.
But
I would just do a sequel.
Yeah. I don't understand why they're they're saying a reboot that he's going to play Gabe, the same character. How is this a reboot? That's weird.
Maybe it's a legacy sequel, or it's like
maybe he's sitting telling a story about when he was young. And then they recast.
I remember. I don't know if I said this when we reviewed the movie, but I'll say it now. If I did say it then, I'm repeating myself. But who cares? The best part about Cliffhanger, I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast when they reviewed it.
Yeah,
and I agree. Is just the fact that what's the character's name that's his friend that's in Guardians movies?
The Yondu is what's his fucking name? Michael
Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Yes.
Michael Rooker is just like irrationally mad at Stallone's character for not saving his wife. It makes no sense because he went out there and attempted to save the guy's wife.
He didn't do anything.
And
He's just hanging out there.
He blames him.
Yeah.
Even though he'd like took his wife, who was super inexperienced, up to the top of a mountain and like put her in that position, basically.
Yeah, he's really the douchebag.
It was entirely his fault, and the whole time he's super mad at fucking Gabe for no reason. Gabe tried to help your wife, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He can't accept it. He can't accept it.
Well, and they... my
so
favorite
funny.
is that on that podcast, they like to imply that the reason he took her up there is that they were both really kinky freaks.
Yeah,
and they just wanted to have sex on top of a mountain.
They wanted to join the 30,000 Mile High Club or something. Mountain Sex Club. What was his name in the movie?
Who cares what
Hal
his name was?
Tucker. Hal. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you make a sequel. I'm sure there's an idea, but not sure that movie needs a sequel.
Listen, if
or a reboot or
Harrison Ford is playing Indiana Jones at 80, there's no reason Stallone can't still be fucking bringing this shit back. The 90s are hot right now.
I will see the movie if there's a clip in the trailer of Stallone climbing a mountain. I will laugh so hard at that age.
I need to see him hanging from a helicopter again.
Then again, you're right. You have Harrison Ford riding a freaking horse and
yeah.
I don't know what they
Stallone's
have
like,
him doing.
let's get the deep fakes going. He's like, let's do it.
He's like, I'm never letting this go. We're going to make this for another 20 fucking years. Okay, let's take a break here. Everybody, we'll play some promos. We're going to come back and talk about a fantastic action movie right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
Hello, Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. So you're listening to a podcast that you love right now. Chances are I love it too. In the independent podcast community, we all support each other, which is why you're currently hearing this promo. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my show in the hopes that maybe you'll check it out. I welcome a different co-host each week, usually other podcasters, friends of mine, or random folks from the entertainment industry. Together, we count down our top 5 favorite things for whatever that week's topic is. It's often centered around music, movies, TV, and pop culture. We have over 250 episodes spanning nearly 5 years of programming, so there's bound to be something on our feed that's just for you. We release new episodes of Two Peas every Wednesday. For links to all of our content and to subscribe via your favorite podcast app, just go to our website. It's www.twopeasonapod.com. We can't wait to welcome you to the party.
And nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, this is a great time to give back. Join our Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can support this bullshit for on a monthly or annual basis. We love all the continued support. Thank you, everyone who supports this on Patreon. They get cool things like an exclusive podcast feed where shows come out early. Bonus content is posted there. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we had a second update to our 21st Century Action Movie Tournament movie selection draft, where we had a poll where the poll had closed. We had have the winners. We have our final 40 movies, which will be revealed as soon as this show posts. Also, we have Discord benefits. So if you're on Patreon, you can hang out with us for our monthly Discord hangouts. This month will be May 18th, I believe. I think that's I wrote down March. I think I meant May. Somewhere around there.
May 18th. Oh, definitely not March.
Not March. Check the Patreon page for the date.
Get excited about a show in 10 months.
It's once a month, like usually the third Thursday. It's on the website. And you can also pick any movie for us to watch and review. A lot of fun
May 18th?
stuff.
No, June 18th.
No, this month will be May 18th.
Oh, you're talking about the Discord. Never mind. I'm half paying
Discord
attention.
will be, you're not paying attention. Last
I thought
one
you were
we
talking about
did
the
was
Action
here.
Movie
1,
Tournament.
2,
Never mind.
3, 4. Yeah, when that happens, it'll be soon. You'll know. But in the meantime, we are going to review some of the movies that are in the tournament. A few weeks ago, we did The Raid, definitely in the tournament, and we're just going to do the sequel. This week's review is The Raid 2, also in the tournament. Here is your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
The Raid 2 from 2014. First one was 2011. So 3 years later, Raid 2 comes out. Also known as the Raid 2 Barandal in Indonesia, or the Raid Retaliation in some places. Has a lot of names. On Rotten Tomatoes, Tomato Meter putting this at 82%. 7.5 out of 10. Audience score 87%. The first movie was 87 on both sides. This movie, they got a bigger budget for this one after the success of the first one. First movie made for $1 million. The budget of the Raid 2, $4.5 million. Ends up making internationally $6.7 million, and then makes more money on physical DVD and Blu-ray in the US, in the UK. Sold well. So, I mean, this is a very niche thing. Again, all Indonesian production, but of course, written and directed by a Caucasian man named Gareth Evans. He's Welsh, by the way.
That's right.
If you were wondering. Starring some cast from the first movie, namely Iko Uwais coming back as Rama. And Yayan Ruhian, not as Mad Dog, as a completely different character.
Oh, yeah. They tried to slip one past us, but I was like, hey, it's the same guy again.
Guy that looks like Ali Young.
We'll talk about that later.
Anyways, but I think he's also like the stunt coordinator. So
right.
And then
he's the fight coordinator.
Yeah, he's the fight coordinator. The big difference is that first movie, nice tight hour, 40 minutes. This one, 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. It expands. Anthony, why don't you catch us up previously on The Raid and then tell us what this movie's about?
Oh, you want to know what The Raid was about first?
Well,
I mean, just happened?
Yeah, it kind of leaves off.
We ended The Raid, and he was Rama, played by Iko Uwais, was looking for his brother, also trying to clear out a building with a drug lord, was able to accomplish both, but his brother didn't want to leave that life. He didn't want to leave that thug life. And this movie picks up right after that almost, and his brother's been captured and gets executed by a bunch of drug lord criminals, and Rama is tasked by a secret agency within the police to infiltrate these drug crime family things and get more intel and basically take it apart from within.
Yeah, I mean, it's your basic, get thrown in prison, befriend the gangster's son, get into the gang, and take down a gang war. Get in the mix of a gang war.
Well, in this instance, it's befriend the son, but befriend the criminals.
Infiltrate, get inside. Yes, and did you watch this movie again for this, or you watched it when you watched The Raid initially?
I watched it when I watched it a couple weeks ago.
For the first time.
A month or two, yeah. I still remember it.
Okay, well, let's start there. At the end of the movie, what are your thoughts? What do you think overall?
Oh man, at the end of the movie, I mean, it is longer. It's a lot more of an involved plot. I'd say probably a more interesting plot. Anytime you have the good guy infiltrating and being around all his enemies or potentially the bad guys, like those are always very interesting plots.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie's pretty awesome. I mean, it's one of those things where you make The Raid and you're like, how can they even top this? And you have this movie where, I mean, there's 5, maybe 6 fight scenes that I think are all awesome. I mean, you just start the movie out with him in the toilet fighting off about 30 dudes while he's in the fucking stall.
In a bathroom,
and it just escalates from there.
I gotta hand it to that bathroom door latch. It's strong as fuck.
It hung on for a while until the screws fell out.
We can dive into all the fight scenes, maybe later.
I counted them.
12.
12 like fight/action scenes.
I mean, there's 5 or 6 in my opinion, or 5 that you just. I mean, there's that. There's the fight in the mud. There's the car chase scene fighting in the car. Then there's when he takes on the hammer guy or the hammer girl and the baseball bat guy.
Yes.
And then when he takes on the boss is like right hand man in the kitchen.
It's like a video game.
I mean, it just is like, how do they keep fucking topping this?
Boss level.
It's not a perfect movie. Yeah. And we can get into why I think it isn't later. I mean, they make a horrific decision, which we can get into, later. But overall, it's a fucking worthy ass follow up to The Raid, and I honestly don't know. I'm going to say right now, I don't know which movie's better. Like, they're both fucking awesome.
Oh man, yeah, it's that and that is the ultimate question we're going to have to get to. And
maybe I'll make a decision at the end, but yeah.
And I mean, but I'm with you. I was tossed. I'm going back and forth, dude. After watching this movie, what a fucking journey! I'm just like John Wick 4. I was exhausted. Brutal fights with not just fights, but fights with emotion behind them. Yes, and it's bigger. Like, there's more locations, more characters, more villains, more plot, more gangsters. And at the end of this movie, the way it ends, you're like, fucking Rama is a fucking badass. holy shit, I love it. And like the John Wick does the same thing. You put your central character through the ringer, and the fact that it is Iko Uwais actually doing all this choreography and stunts, like you buy it and you are exhausted. There's 12 fight scenes, right? And so they have to continually kind of set up why to fight. So while I did enjoy a lot of the story, I don't know if it did help this movie or hurt it. I'm still not sure. Some of it could have been tightened up a little bit, but fuck. And also the fight scenes, they start out kind of short and they get longer and longer and longer. It's a great buildup, but in the editing, Gareth Evans also did the editing. He wrote, directed, and edited this movie. There's some fantastic editing in this movie. But yeah. I fucking loved it.
When it comes to action, there's no one that shoots it as well as he does. Maybe we're John Wick 4, the guy that does Stahelski, but
Stahelski knows.
Yeah. Sorry, Ruggs, go ahead.
There's about 5 guys that can do it, and he's one of them. Like the top of the top action directors. So he's among the best. I enjoyed this movie. I think this is the second time I saw it all the way through, but I've watched scenes a few times. The reason why I didn't watch it again even though I enjoyed it, because I do feel it's very long and I don't want to sit through the whole movie. I'll just watch action sequences from it. And that's fine. Like if you want to go back and watch scenes, but there is something where I have a pause of like, why haven't I gone back and watched the whole thing all the way through? And perhaps it is the length of time that the movie is, but I do enjoy the action sequences immensely. And I do enjoy the general plot of the movie. I think is great. I really like that the guy that he sent to go and befriend in prison is a huge asshole and he wants to betray his father.
Yeah.
And he's just a huge douchebag. You could do a lot more with that, and they didn't. That has potential, has really good storytelling potential. They did enough, but like,
that dude looked like Elvis to me. I was like, this Elvis looking motherfucker.
I was like, wow, that's a good looking man.
He's a good looking dude. Like when Elvis, like a young Elvis, I was like, he got the little hair curl. Yeah, Uko's character is pretty great, and we meet him. In the prison. I want to just talk about these fight scenes because each one
they're so good.
Brings some, like the first one you mentioned, Anthony, that fighting in a confined space in a bathroom stall, and like how smart he is to like get a couple in, close the door, try to take them out.
Love when he like brings a few in and closes the door and beats their ass,
and then he's like, "Let me take care of these guys."
Yeah, and then brings more in. It's just like.
And he's flipping.
So genius.
It's so
he
good.
Created his own hot gates.
He can control it.
I love that the dudes are just the guys he beats up are just piling up on the toilet.
Yeah, they just flipping them over and they're just piling on top of each other, and then it's real short, right? It kind of ends with that great overhead shot where they all rush in, and you're like, oh, holy fuck,
right?
And then he meets Uko, makes his friend, and we get to the prison yard brawl in the rain, which is just visually. The mud, the rain, was amazing. I love the whole build up to it where you see them coming and he's just slowly unscrewing the handle to the broom. And the multiple times they use their environment to fight is so well done in this movie.
You can tell by that fight scene that they had a little bit more money, and Gareth was it Emery? No, not
Evans.
Evans.
Not Edwards.
Was a better director. Like
he gets
the way
better.
They're shooting that with the slow motion rain and all that stuff. It's like art when you're watching that fight.
There's long handheld shots of chaos, and the whole movie. I'm like, the choreography, the amount of time they had to spend on this so that everybody was safe and they're swinging around fucking weapons is staggering. I kept thinking of that line from Batman 89 when Joker is flipping through Vicky Vale's portfolio of Corto Maltese, and he's like, the bodies, the skulls, I don't know if it's art, but I like it. This is how I felt watching this whole fucking movie, because he starts snapping arms, and there's fucking...
It's brutal, yeah.
It's so fucking brutal. Ruggs, anything about that fight scene that stuck out to you?
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was theatrical. I love when the shot rings out and then they pan up and the guard's
yes,
and then all of a sudden like it takes on a whole different oh shit.
That's what that looks like. One take too. They're climbing the fence and he pans up and it pans back and the guy pulls the other guy down. Like they do that stuff. Like I feel like again the most realistic fucking fighting I've ever seen. Like these people have to be getting hurt. I can't believe how this is all fucking.
What's crazy about it is it's like it's unreal. Like it's not real. You there's no way that this guy's taken out this many people in a real fight.
Yeah.
But it's shot so well that it looks freaking real. Like it looks possible.
Yes. Well, in the prison fight scene, there's a little bit of that where it's like one at a time instead of like, why don't you just swarm him? But they do that later. But it's just timed so well and shot so well, edited so well that you feel it. Okay. Then there's that great scene at the pornographer's warehouse where you see the silhouette of that girl pegging some dude. They're just filming it. It's hilarious. But the whole bit about the dude's reaching for the shotgun and Rama is standing there and he sees the reflection in the puddle. And then that scene is great. My favorite part is when the dude runs on the table and then just jumps through the pane of glass window to get the fuck out of there. It's fucking great. Any comments on that fight scene? Another short one.
That one I don't remember as much, I'll be honest. I do remember seeing the girl pegging the dude.
Yeah, you remember that. That's memorable.
Well, it's like the first time that the two guys are like out of prison and they do a job together and he definitely covers his ass and he's
himself,
the guy.
Yeah.
He runs after the dude who jumps through the glass and tries to make a run for it and he beats the shit out of him in that room. And that little guy, he lasts a lot longer than I thought he would.
He did. The little guys in this movie are pretty scrappy.
But like, you know what? There's iconography in this, like that is, it's like out of a gangster movie, like out of a Martin Scorsese movie or something where he goes to the safe and he grabs that automatic gun.
Oh,
and he just like unloads it.
Yeah. And then it runs out. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's something out of a gangster movie. It's totally a gangster fucking
a
thing.
lot of these shots reminded me of Tarantino and like Romance, Reservoir Dogs, a little Kill Bill in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in there. And it is funny to go into that environment where they're in the pornographer's place. And there's all these like they got you can see some of the seedy underbelly and how this the gangster's son, how much of a douche he is.
I know he's a fucking he's evil though. He's like, this is not gonna be enough.
That's a good point because you in the beginning you know that he's a gangster's son, so you know he's probably not great, but he seems kind of like a charismatic, somewhat, to the degree that you can be a gangster's son, honorable guy, and then you see how he treats women later.
Yeah, in that karaoke bar scene where doesn't he take that microphone and shove it between her legs? Is that what
he
was
wants
happening?
to? He's about to, and Rama stops her.
Yeah, he's losing his shit. This guy's fucking.
And then you realize, he's actually like an insecure piece of shit.
Yeah, he's betraying his own dad. All right, then we meet Yaya Ruyan, and it's not Mad Dog. It's a character named Procoso.
I had a problem with this.
Did this take you out of the movie?
Go ahead, Ruggs, because I got a lot to say about this.
I just think that, dude, there's nothing wrong with recasting this dude, but like make him a different character completely. Like shave this guy's head, put him in a suit, like a nice suit, like make him like give him some gold teeth or something. Just tat him up or just make it like a completely different, unrecognizable guy. If you want to use this guy, don't make him literally look exactly like he did in the other movie with gray hair. It's not dirt, like the same dirty dirtbag kind of look.
Yeah. He's looked like the same homeless dude.
Yeah.
I think he's a great martial artist and I like watching him fight, but I just thought it was very poor choice right there. Like it didn't even go with the character. Like, the character's supposed to be this like friend of the family that everybody reveres.
His main hitman.
And he looks like he just like crawled out from under a bridge or something.
Right. Yeah, you're right. To add to that, so when I first saw the movie, I was like, is Mad Dog back?
Yeah, no, Mad Dog died.
And then I went with, maybe that's Mad Dog's twin brother.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
and
you're playing mental gymnastics the whole time.
And then I realized, oh my God, it's a different dude.
Yeah.
And at that point, the fight scenes are fun. Yeah. There's fun fight scenes with the guy in it. But it's unforgivable that they cast this guy to play that role.
But
that's the worst thing ever Furthermore, sorry, Imran, one more thing. Furthermore, this whole part of the movie can be completely cut and the movie's the same.
Yeah.
So it's just a useless,
it's a side
other
thing.
than like some cool fight scenes, it like takes points off the movie for me that this guy's in the fucking
they
movie.
had to do the guy a solid, basically.
Yeah, and
Is that
it's just an
why?
unforgivable decision.
But, like,
to do that.
just make him look different. Just pull his hair back. Shave his fucking face. I don't know. You can there's a lot of
everything
things you
about
can do.
that, every decision that was made
Dress
is
him
an
up like
awful,
Roxy.
awful decision.
Because you have, and maybe we'll get into this later, because essentially Gareth Evans, he got the go ahead for the Raid sequel, and he had this idea, this whole thing about a guy who has to infiltrate a gangster and gets caught in a gang war. And then he tied it into characters from the Raid. Maybe this would have benefited from being a completely separate movie, and you still have Iko Uwais and Yaya, and it's just a whole, they're all different characters. Has that some of that shoehorning to the first movie, I think, just slows it down and adds to
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
Because that what they're doing in the first movie is giving Iko Uwais' character a motivation to do this.
Sure.
But that has nothing to do with them tying Prakoso. Like,
yeah, the Prakoso
they're supposed to be
thing-
two different characters.
Yeah.
They're not trying to tie that to the movie.
Because all you learn about him is that he wants to see his son. There's the whole thing with his son and the pendant, and then he is set up to be killed to further this gang war. But you didn't need any of that, really. Anyways,
Yeah, it was awful.
The first fight with Prakoso, and he's got a machete, and he fights this group of people. It's very interesting because for the whole time, he doesn't use the machete. He's fighting them with one hand until the
that
very
was
end.
cool.
Yes, he's taking them all on with the machete in his hand, one arm free, never uses the machete, takes them all fucking out until the very end, stabs the dude.
I'm going to be honest. I hated that they casted this guy so much that even though those fight scenes happened and I know I watched them, I have no memory of them. I choose to block them out.
You made yourself forget them because you were just so insulted by it.
Yes, it's very exactly. It's an insult to the audience's intelligence to cast
Well,
that
let me
guy.
remind you then, the next immediate fight scene is the Prakoso in the nightclub where he's set up by Uko, and they chase him, and he goes on the alley, and the fucking assassin shows up and ends up killing him.
So they could have easily trimmed 15 minutes from this movie if they just cut his scenes out.
Koso.
Yep.
They called them Koso. Okay.
So I do think it's a little indulgent then if it's not necessary and it is insulting to the audience. I think you could totally cut that.
It had to have been this motherfucker's ego was like, no way am I choreographing all these fight scenes
and I'm not in
being
it.
the movie.
Come
Yeah.
on. But you could think it could have been easy to make him look and act different. Okay.
Yeah,
Here,
shave the fucking guy's head.
yes.
He's
just
like, I've been
cut
growing
hair.
this beard for like 6 months. I'm not shaving it off.
Slick your hair back, something. I don't know, shave it and go bald. But then this movie does something great, which I loved, was introduce new villains with crazy weapons. So we get introduced to Hammer Girl and Bat Boy, who do a simultaneous hit. I think they're hitting the Japanese family all at different
believe so, yeah.
locations. And holy shit. Oh my God. Great introduction. I love both of these characters. Bat Boy is great because he literally uses a baseball and a bat, and then he'll hit the baseball and he'll just be like, give me the ball. And then just fuck a motherfucker up.
Why would you ever give him the ball?
No, who's ever returning the ball? You know, like, it's not going to work. He does it twice. He tries to get the ball back. Like, why are you even asking, bro? And then fucking the brutality. I've never seen anyone be so brutal with a pair of hammers. Just everyday claw hammers, both sides, the claw side, the hammering side. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I thought that this was pretty brutal, and then I saw When the Night Comes for Us or something like that.
Yes, he goes
and
in
it's
that too.
it's fucking way more gory than this. But this was the standard of goriness in action movies.
She's on a train, right? Yeah, she's on a train
for a while.
Comments.
Yeah, I thought they were both brutal. The only tiny drawback I have is it kind of takes the movie out of the reality that you're bringing this real reality, because candidly, who's walking around with a baseball bat?
It's a little
and
gimmicky.
and who's walking around with two hammers?
Yes,
like no one's really
Hammer Girl and Bat
doing
Boy.
that.
Yeah,
but they're fucking cool fight scenes, and they use the stuff creatively.
It's very like John Wick. It remind me a lot of things remind me of John Wick. Copying all this, which is just quirky assassins with.
So it's like Gogo Yabari from Kill Bill.
Yes. Fuck, she's good with those fucking hammers. Okay, Then we get a quick ambush of Rama in the streets. And again, this movie is so great with locations. Every fight is in different locations, so many locations. This one starts in the taxi, and he crashes it and moves into the restaurant, and he burns the dude's face on a grill. Again, quick one, but very impactful. And you're like, Rama's got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, that one I don't remember too much.
Yeah, okay. Then we're in like the final like 30, 40 minutes of this fucking movie are amazing, like all the way through. Starting with the whole...
Yeah, the final 30, 40 minutes, just to preface, it was literally one after the other, and I was going, how do they keep topping each fight prior?
Holy shit. And not only that, like the story picks up because you have Uko finally confronting his dad. And it's a pretty meaningful conversation, right? His dad is ashamed of him, and Uko is ashamed of his dad for catering and conceding to the Japanese. And fucking that dude Beijo shows up, and Uko just shoots his dad in the head. I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Holy fuck. And I love even the little detail of he couldn't watch. He turns his head away and then pulls the trigger. That's great. So then we also meet the other dude, Ika, who is on their gang, Bangung's gang. And earlier, Ika has told Rama, he's like, you and I come from the same place. And we soon find out that Ika's kind of a good guy. He gets shot in the leg, right? Rama shows up. And then, holy shit, Rama does fight the assassin briefly. First semi-boss level fight, but gets beat really quick. He's captured, put in a car, and what proceeds is probably one of the most amazing car/fight scenes.
Yeah, that was the thing that stuck out to me after I saw this movie was this car chase.
Masterful.
And fight in the car.
Yes. I don't know. What do you want to talk about first? The fight in the car. Let's talk about the fighting in the car. Rama with two dudes next to him, two dudes in the front, using parts of the car and just intense, close combat fighting. And it looks fucking real. Like, what would you do in this situation if you had to fight dudes in a car?
Well, regardless of what you got to do, the way he shot it was so good. Like the way the camera moves in and out of the car. And it's just, you could follow the action very easily.
Yeah.
And then it gets into this car chase. And then all of a sudden the camera's all over the place, inside and outside the car. And I just watched the clip of how they filmed it.
Yes.
Imran showed me.
Anthony, did you watch this clip?
Yeah.
It's so inventive and amazing. And when I saw this shot, I was like, holy shit, did the camera just go in and out of the car while they're driving? And yes, in this thing, it's fucking amazing. You see there's a guy hanging outside a motor vehicle, pulls the camera out from Rama's car, and they drive over to Ika's car behind him, and he leans in, and in the behind the scenes thing, you see the seat. There's a dude dressed as a seat. The car seat. He's dressed as the car seat.
Because he's in the shot.
He's in the shot real quick. He grabs the camera, focuses on Ika for a second, and then reaches over, hands the camera out the window. There is a dude on the other side of the car lying down, strapped on a platform, who grabs the camera and continues filming. And they're going pretty fast. And I don't know how he didn't drop the fucking camera. I love this style of filming.
That's insane.
It's
this
so
style.
Great. Yeah.
I don't know if this was a style until they did this.
I mean,
in the
just
movie.
this, I don't know what you call this guerrilla style. Like now you hear the story of the guy who did Extraction, Sam Hargrave, sitting on the hood of the car doing it. He kind of,
I mean,
he does
the
stuff
dude
like
from
this.
Extraction definitely had to have been inspired by this.
But what an amazing camera move, and what a stunt. It was so good.
Yeah,
it pays off because I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Quite like that before.
It's an example of putting in the work, right?
Yeah.
Like most movies, especially movies with a budget, are going to CGI that, or they're going to not do the things they did in this. And this is an example of when you're seeing it on screen, it feels real because it's fucking actually happening.
It's happening. They're driving and they're moving the camera through the car at high speeds. Oh, I love that shit. That shit was great. Also, you know, in the John Wick 4, they had that top-down scene. Mm-hmm. He does top-down in the car.
Right.
Where the roof is removed. It was probably like a set thing, but it looks great. And it's such a great idea. I've never seen that either. Here's the other thing I loved. Again, the use of environments. You see Rama pull on the guy's tie. He uses the seatbelt. He shoves the guy's hand through the headrest, the little hole in the headrest to keep him immobile. Like the use of environmental things And I just love when they're just picking up things and throwing things, whatever's around.
Yeah, top-notch fight choreography, using the environment, being inventive. That's what you want to see, because you can see someone punch somebody like a bunch of times and that gets boring. So you have to find a way to make it inventive, make it interesting, and using your environment, something that Jackie Chan used to do all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good that they're kind of carrying the torch on that and keeping it inventive.
This is still all silat, right? That Indonesian martial arts.
Still silat.
Silat, yeah. Which it's known for using weapons and whatever you have around you, I believe. Anyways, we find out that dude Ika knew Rama was a cop because he's an undercover cop too, and he fucking dies, sacrifices. He saves his ass though. It's great. And now you have a sequence of Rama fighting his way to the three bad guys, Bejo and Uko and Reza, the cop who's being bought and corrupting other cops. And then it starts in the warehouse. He crashed through the warehouse. There's a warehouse level fight, takes all those fucking dudes out. And then we end up in the amazing red hallway. This one is Bat Boy and Hammer Girl. And now it's Rama has to take down Bat Boy and Hammer Girl again. Fucking brutal. Any comments on this one? What do you remember memorable from this fight?
He did get beat up pretty bad.
He gets beat up bad this whole time, kind of.
Yeah, he's like really taking damage. And, but as soon as he kind of was able to get the hammers away from the girl and he always uses the enemy's weapon against them. And that's what I like. I think he bashes the Bat Boy in the face. It's like splits his head open.
It's so fucking violent.
It's brutal. Yeah. It's like so gross, but like it's satisfying too, because
it is. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
Well, you notice the you see, like, the Hammer Girl has one eye missing.
Yeah, what's the deal with the sunglasses? And is she deaf? Because he's, like, signing to her. Or she's her vision. I don't understand what was the point of that.
He kills her so brutally.
Well, he rips her throat out with her own fucking claws, the hammers. And then he embeds the fucking bat in the dude's head.
Yeah.
Because the guy just tips over and the bat is stuck in his mouth. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. It's so good.
Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Why?
Yeah, you can't just throw this on without giving a preface.
No. And then there is one more thing we get at the end of the movie that's pretty fucking insane how graphic it is. But
and then we get to the final boss level fight. It is Rama versus the assassin, Bejo's assassin. And again, another really visually cool environment. It's a pristine, white, clean kitchen of a restaurant.
I thought this was the best fight scene.
Wow.
I'd ever seen.
And they start fighting, and you see in the background, there's like a glass room with bottles of champagne. I'm like, that shit's getting smashed. All this shit is getting smashed. And indeed, it does. What did you like about talk us through this fight, Anthony? It's relentless.
It's just so well choreographed. You're right. It's in a very cute, very like nice setting with the kitchen, and with the music. And you'd seen this guy beat Rama before.
Yep.
And you'd seen him kill the guy that I didn't want in the movie, but he kills him in the movie, and it just continues to escalate, like more and more and more. And then they start bringing in the weapons, and then the music really comes in, and it's the epitome of just an epic one-on-one fight scene.
I even love in the beginning how the assassin's kind of toying with them. They're kind of testing each other out a little bit, and then they just go full on. And yes, they're throwing things, getting thrown against things, the different areas of the kitchen smashed through the glass.
Rama's just, by the end, I think he cut up like every part of this guy's body.
Yes, and the guy kept coming. He pulls out those crescent razor blade weapons, and Rama gets one, and he keeps slicing him up, and he keeps coming, and he has to rip his fucking throat out. He's ripping everybody's throat out with these weapons.
Yeah, he's like Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, he's doing the old Roadhouse from Swayze technique. And then I just love when it ends, you see the shot, it pulls back, and it's just the white with the fucking blood and the dark body on the fucking floor. And it's just like,
what I like about this fight scene is like, as he's getting cut up and shit, he's leaving marks on shit that he's like being thrown up against these white walls, and also there's like a big splatter behind him.
Yeah.
So they paid attention to that detail, and it makes it feel more real.
I mean, this, and especially in this one, but all of them, and in the first one, the way the camera moves around the fight scene, how tight it is. Like, again, if you're these people, you have to think about not falling into the cameraman. hitting the cameraman. All stuntmen have this. They get very close to the cameras, but the way this camera dances around them so perfectly.
Well, they're cutting in and out
but
of it.
There's long takes of the fight as well, right? And you can follow everything so clearly. And this fights have a story.
That's the beauty of it, is even if with the cuts, you can just follow it so well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes him different, makes Gareth different, is that I feel like he's planning like you would do a storyboard to a comic book or something like that, like every shot. And so he means to tell it this way. And that's why when you see it the story is in the fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Every fight has a story.
So, it's not like an accidental, he came to it in the edit. Like, no, this is like what he wanted to bring to the table. So just like in the first movie, he's doing it again here, and he's doing it a lot better in a lot of ways. Yes, it's a really, really great fight scene. Just two guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two guys in a room, minimal weapons, just using their environment. I mean, when I watch it, I wonder how many times they had to shoot it to get all these things.
How much
done.
rehearsal, the rehearsals and just unbelievable dedication to this. And it comes across on screen. All right. So then we get to the end. Like, that's the best final battle scene, but the story ends in a kind of an interesting way. Rama, first Uko kills Reza and Bejo, and he just turns on him, and Rama's in there. He kills his henchmen. Yeah.
Uko kills those guys because they
were using him.
Yeah, they kind of manipulated him into killing his own dad.
Oh, right. Yes, because he offered up those dudes to kill that he said were from the prison, but then he had the same tattoo. So he just sacrificed his own people to do this.
He was doing that to just get the power.
That dude, Bejo's fucking, he was a wild card. You didn't know. And so there's this 3-way gang war. So anyways, Uko takes care of them, and then Rama does finally kill Uko very close. So they kind of hug almost, and they have like this knowing look. It's very interesting. And then
he blasts his face off.
No, that was Uko to Bejo.
Yes.
He shoots him in the head.
And blasts his face off.
Yeah, blasts his face off.
Fucking,
yeah. Although I watched that, the second time I watched that, you can kind of see the green screen and the effect, because his body lurches, but the part where it exploded doesn't move. So there's you know what I'm saying? The part
really? I have to watch it again.
Yeah, the part they masked in of the head exploding, because it's like they don't cut away. That's the actor lying there as he shoots him in the head.
Oh, wow.
And when he gets hit, he convulses, but the thing they composited on top, which is the head explosion, they didn't make that move. I don't know. I noticed that one thing.
No, it's weird.
Yeah. But then Rama is fucking done. This dude has been shot and stabbed and beat up, and he's limping out of the warehouse, and he gets to the bottom, and the door's open, and like the whole Japanese mafia is just standing there with fucking weapons. And I'm like, what? Oh, fuck. What the fuck?
Thanks for nothing.
But then a weird thing happens. They have a conversation, and we don't hear it. We hear them talking to each other, and then the only thing we do hear, and as the movie ends, is Rama say, "No, I'm done." Cut to black. What do you think happened there? I have a thought. Well,
go ahead.
Well, I've like, to me, it came across as the mafia showed up, and he actually did them a favor, taking all these people out. I feel like the guy goes, "That's very impressive. You're a fucking badass. You want to work for us," and that's why he says, "No, I'm done."
That makes sense.
That's your take?
Yeah. What do you think happened, Anthony? Why did they do that?
No, I'm saying, isn't that pretty obvious?
Is that what happened? Is that what you got to? Yeah.
Isn't it? He's worked. He already did this. He infiltrated. He's physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted.
He just wants.
He's been away from his family since the beginning of the raid 1, and he's done.
And that guy, his handler was
he's done. He's done probably even being a police officer. He's just done.
Oh, this handler was like putting him in danger and kind of being incompetent in things by putting that wire on him.
He by doing this, I think the timing of the movies, he's been away from his family for a while now.
Well, he was 2 years in prison before he gets out. He's in prison for 2 years. So the kid's grown up.
Did you catch the cameo, the Godzilla cameo?
No.
What?
All right. Well, in the movie, when they call the Japanese guys the guy who answers the phone was the leader of the X in Final Wars.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Godzilla cameo.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I forgot what the guy's name was, but he played the leader of the X
In Godzilla 84?
No, in Final Wars.
Oh, Final Wars, sorry. Yeah,
Remember, like, the head alien guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's that actor. I think he was the guy that answered the phone. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think I'm right.
Oh.
I'll look it up. Let's see.
Watch. He's like completely off.
Listen,
shit,
you know how
Japanese
I am.
guys look like.
You remember? I thought Milo Ventimiglia was Asian. So,
He's in Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah, Milo Ventimiglia, the star of Crazy Rich Asians, of course.
Sure.
So that's the end of the movie, but there is a deleted scene I found on YouTube. Did you guys get a chance to watch this deleted scene?
No, I didn't.
It's called Gang War. And it is kind of dispensable. None of the main characters are in it. It's a quick couple minutes clip of.
Oh shit!
Yes.
I just put it on, and there's a scene of this dude with his face half off crawling.
Yeah, it's this one gang going to see the other gang, and they open the door, and they're right there, and everybody gets shot, and cops get shot, and they kind of focus on this young kid who the gangster is talking to. It seems like it's his first day, and he's never been in a gunfight, and the kid almost makes it out and gets shot and dies, and like that's the whole scene. It's a good scene in of itself outside of the movie. Like I'm
right.
It's fucking.
Okay.
Oh, really? Good.
Yes. I was correct.
Well done.
He's Kazuki
Kitamura.
Kitamura.
It is a brutal scene. I will put it in the episode description. You guys can watch.
Oh, the one, the deleted scene.
Yeah, the Gang War scene is great. But like,
they didn't need this in the movie.
No, I mean, you could have taken out some of the Precoso thing and put this in, but whatever. It's the same.
No, I don't think you need this scene.
It didn't.
You mean that movie could have been 2.5 hours long?
It's a 4 minute 40-second scene. On its own, it's just an impressive fucking action scene of like a gang warfare, right? And it does tell a little story in 4 minutes. So, let me ask you one thing. I love all the fighting and the action. What is with the? I always see Brahma like in between the fighting beats, like do this swirly kind of hand motion, windmill kind of thing, while he's waiting for like the next guy to step up and fight. Is that like a style? I don't know. I kind of like it. It keeps it kinetic instead of just like standing there.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? You didn't catch this, you
Both of
motherfucker.
us said it at the same time.
Go back and watch it. In between, like when it's like a one at a time kind of fight scene, like he does this hand waving swirly thing to kind of reset during the fights in between like individual opponents. I totally caught that in the first one. I caught it in this one. It may just be Iko Uweis's style or the style of fighting or a thing used to just keep it more animated and dynamic overall. Nobody else fucking noticed that? The fuck.
Well, you saw it most recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Okay.
I don't know. I watched it the other day, but like I don't remember him doing that. He probably does do it. Imran pays a lot of attention to these things.
I mean, I noticed that fucking Matt scene in the head explosion.
Yeah.
But anyways,
so I'll trust you on that one.
There was rumors for a while that what's his name was working on a third one, but then he like moved out of Indonesia and went back to the UK, and he has confirmed a third one is not happening.
Well, he's working on that show, the British show,
and
he's working on a show.
The Tom Hardy movie is coming out.
Not everything needs to be in threes.
No, I think this is fine.
If he's got a story that's worth telling, go for it. And he's got action scenes, but yeah, this is fine. It's good to go.
I mean, Iko Uwais is a great martial artist, but I don't think he's the most charismatic star.
No, not at all.
So I feel like, but the fight choreography that Iko brings to the table,
so believable,
and all of the stuff that he brings to the table is so useful. But I mean, I think he could probably find a more well-rounded way to expand on the stories, because otherwise you're going to have like a guy who doesn't talk much and just fights in every movie, and you can do that with John Wick and everything, but you can't do it like we've gone 4 already, and we all have the same criticism. It's like there's no story and it's just all action and it's all action. So I don't know if I think Gareth Evans has more to him than that, and I think that's in this Gangs of London thing.
Yeah, he's
doing a little bit more.
I gotta watch this. He directs the first 5 episodes, and he directs the action sequences from 2020 Gangs of London.
Where
right.
Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais both are amazing at hand-to-hand fight scenes. I'd say both of them lack some of the charisma that like a Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or Donnie Yen have.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you're right. There's not that those guys do a ton of other stuff, but you just can't do as much acting with those guys.
They're more like a Jet Li.
Yeah.
They're more like a guy that comes in, can be like Jet Li is a great bad guy. Like in Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He's fucking menacing and great. And like he was just badass and used like to the fullest of his extent of his abilities as well. So, yeah, it's hard to find a great lead actor like that has the same kind of DNA as Bruce Lee. I mean, like the guy Tony Jaa, he brings a little bit more fun to it, I think, than Iko. I think Iko's way more serious.
Yeah, that's the only kind of character he can play.
I mean, that's why I buy him as this Rama. Like he's perfect.
Oh, for sure,
right?
Yeah. They kind of craft the movies around his ability.
Yeah,
his acting ability and his fight ability.
Yeah, to their strengths, and it works.
Right. Yeah, they're not asking the guy to play Jack Nicholson's Joker.
No.
All right, I think it's time to ask the big question. Give me a rating and talk to me about it compared to the rate. Better, worse? What is going on? Anthony.
Oof, this is tough.
Yeah.
This would have been a perfect 10 if they didn't have that fucking guy in the movie. The fact that they had that fucking guy in the movie that was in the raid, just like it's unforgivable, but the movie's so good around him that I can't penalize it too much. So I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. What did you give the first one? I thought you gave it.
I forgot already.
You gave it.
Might have given it a lower score. I don't know. I don't remember. As far as which movie is better,
yeah.
The first one is a tighter film, although it looks like shit. The second one has a much bigger budget in comparison to the first. Is a much more beautifully shot film.
Yeah,
is longer, has a better plot, but is longer and it has an unforgivable casting decision. Fuck.
It's so hard.
That being said, right? If you ask me right now, I kind of like this one better than the first one.
Oh shit. Okay.
But the first one is more iconic in terms of like people copying that.
Right.
Yeah. This one's so fucking good too. Maybe the first one. See, I go back and forth. I don't know because the first one doesn't do a stupid thing and cast the same guy in the second one.
Well, but they can't do that in the first one.
I know. But that obviously gives it a leg up.
All right.
Yeah. That right now the second one, but tomorrow maybe the first one.
Okay.
Maybe in 10 minutes I'll say the first one.
Here's where I land. This is really hard. I loved everything about this movie. I love that it was bigger. It does give you more of what's in the first movie. The first one, though, I think I appreciated the more focused kind of plot. You know, it's very straightforward, in and out. This one, the plot maybe gets a little convoluted. There's some unnecessary things, but it has. But the fact that he broke out of the other locations right away gives a lot of bonus points to this movie because that car chase is amazing. I will say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I gave the raid, I believe, 9. This one, I'm going to give it 8.75. I think the raid is slightly better because of that little bit of focusedness. Now, I'm being inconsistent because in John Wick-wise, I think 4 I liked better than 1 because it got bigger and crazier, and you see Chad make these stunts bigger and get better at them. And you do see Gareth Evans get better at this directing. But I even like the grittiness and the shitty look of the first one. It's just like this gritty fucking movie that's just dirty and brutal and just straightforward. So that's what I'm going to do. I like Raid Redemption a little bit better. This one, 8.5. Ruggs, where do you land?
I feel like the first Raid does so many great things that even though the second movie is great, that the first movie hit a lot of the same notes. And so you leave me with the story being more expansive, the locations being more expansive, and that car chase scene.
Yeah.
Like pretty much everything else is comparable, right? And maybe the prison scene that's a little bit more open and has like another elemental difference with the mud and everything and the rain.
On the mud and the rain.
So you got these two things that stand out apart from the first one. Because, I mean, the kitchen fight, fight in a room at the end with both of them. They're both fights in a room.
Well, and there's hallway fight scenes, right, in both movies.
They had a hallway fights in hallway. So they did them all.
Yeah.
Raid 2 adds the action sequences like in the car. The environments, the mud. And then you get this inventive kind of the Bat Boy and Hammer Girl scene. So you do get some new.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's good. I would probably have to tie it or take it one step down from the Raid because the reason why is the Raid did so much with so little, and this one had more money. And I think the Raid first one still gives this one a run for its money.
Yeah.
As enjoyability and being an originality. So I kind of would either tie them or put this one a step down. So I think I gave it a 9 or something. I'm going to go 8.5. I'll take it a step down.
Man, I still feel like it would have been great to see a separate movie with Iko and Yaya in the same story, and you leave all that stuff out. I think it would have been a tighter story.
Iko and who?
Yaya Ruyan, Mad Dog, but like completely different characters. Same basic story.
Wait, what are you at? What are you saying?
I'm saying
you want those two actors in a Raid movie?
No, they should have done this movie
in a movie that has nothing to do with
he clearly wanted to use Iko, and then they had to use Yaya again. You do the same story, but you make it different characters and just a whole new story about an undercover cop having to infiltrate the gang. And that way, it doesn't bother you that a fucking Mad Dog is back and he's not dead.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about like
a whole separate film.
Wait, you're saying that you want the same actors playing different characters and call it the Raid 2?
See, that's the thing.
That doesn't make any sense.
Call it
what
the
are you
Raid
saying?
2, so you can't. Because that's what I feel is the weakest part of the second one is him.
No, you don't. You just don't cast the same.
Don't cast the Ruyan guy. Yeah,
you don't cast the same guys. You don't use the same guys to play different roles.
Yeah,
you don't fix it by making Iko Uwais play someone other than Rama. You just do what?
No, I think you just need to make a different movie,
or just make a different.
At that point, it's a different movie. Exactly.
Yeah, that's not the Raid.
I get why he wants to use the same actors, but yeah, whatever. It's still
the guy had he must have been given the guy like kudo, like, hey, you've done 2 movies where the choreography is so fucking amazing that I want you in the second one too.
He put it in the contract or negotiated, right? I don't know.
Who knows? But it's a horrible decision.
Mad Dog.
They could have gotten around it so many different ways, and they just didn't.
I mean, it's one of the worst decisions in the history of film. Like, you don't see any sequels where they do that.
Like if he came in and he had
good point
tattoos all over his face, and like he was wearing like a red fucking outfit.
Yep.
That looked really different, or like a red suit, like a really stitched up suit, or something that would make him completely a different character than the other one.
Try to make him look different.
Yeah,
try.
I mean, they did this. Marvel did this, right? So Gemma Chan is in Eternals.
Oh yeah,
she's in Captain Marvel, but in Captain Marvel, she's playing a Kree with a green face.
Yeah,
so you don't know that it's the same fucking person.
Yeah. What if he was wearing war paint on his face? You never know.
Yeah, you had to it's just. Why make him look the same?
Or it could have been like a kabuki like assassin who wears makeup or something, like that. If you're going Hammer Girl and Bat Boy, just go.
Yeah, you could have made him like a guy who's dressed as a ninja, or something.
Yeah, it could have been a ninja. It could absolutely have been just cover his face. You never know.
Imran,
he's dressed as a shredder.
I said this in the first time we reviewed the Raid, but I'll say it again. Do you remember in John Wick 3 that he fights both of these guys? Rhea and the assassin.
Yes. Yeah. And the assassin guy. Yeah.
He fights both of them in that glass room.
Yes.
Kicking each other through glass all the time.
Yes, there's a lot of glass.
That's
breaking.
a memorable scene,
That's
too.
fucking
Though.
great, too.
He's so much. He gets thrown through so much glass. No, but I love this whole thing about your lead guy, right? You put him through the ringer. And at the end, you're just like, I just need you to just rest, Brody. I'm exhausted.
That's a great. You by the end, you feel as tired.
You feel
as he
it,
feels.
yeah. And Keanu does a lot of his stunts. They achieve the same thing. Stahelski's fucking great, man. Like he clearly has studied the raids and brought it. Like
there's another level of when you can not only the director, but when you know that the fucking actor's in the goddamn scene and he's doing that shit, whether it be Keanu or Iko Uwais or even fucking Tom Cruise. He's not doing it's not the intense hand-to-hand combat, but the guy's on the fucking plane. That guy's jumping off the damn, jumping out of the plane.
That's him riding the bike over the cliff.
It's real because he's actually fucking doing it.
It makes a huge difference. Like you don't get that feeling from like the Fast and Furious movies, right? You just
not all the time, right? Because you know that those cars are CGI or that's not really happening.
Yeah. You ever guys watch that on Collider? The stuntmen react. They have a
all the time.
It's so good.
I've seen some of those.
Yeah, those are really good. They talked about John Wick. They talked about the raid, and they have the stunt guys there.
You're talking about Corridor Crew, not
Collider. Corridor Crew. Yeah, they're really good. Check those out. Okay, good stuff. Great fucking action movie. It's going to go far in the tournament, probably. I think we would all agree. Should
definitely
make a good run.
It's definitely a classic, instant classic.
Yeah. All right,
100%.
Let's do some news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
All right, speaking about action movies and new action movies, Jamie Robinson, Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, posted this in our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. It's a quick review of a new movie. He said, just saw Sisu at Regal's Monday Mystery Movie, and here's my review. It's John Wick, but with Nazis. Enjoy. I meant to bring this up earlier because I believe I saw this trailer in front of John Wick 4, and I was like, holy shit, what is this movie? This is a fucking crazy trailer about this old Norwegian dude just stabbing Nazis in the head and fucking blowing them up. And yeah, it looks like a fucking very John Wick violent action movie. Anthony, you see this? What's your take on this?
It looks like Inglourious Bastards, but with John Wick style.
Yes.
Filming.
Yes, Tarantino meets John Wick a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Oh,
it looks good.
Seems like a fun time. I'm gonna watch it when it's available. So
I mean, the trailer is cut so well. There's an amazingly jarring moment you just don't see coming. Like they have this guy down on his knees and it's Nazis and they're just laughing and making fun of him. And he literally just turns around and shoves a machete, a Bowie knife.
Who directed this?
Through the guy's head. And I reacted viscerally. That's a good question. Let's find out. I remember watching this in the theater. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like I was not expecting knife through the head in the trailer. This guy's name is Jalmari Helander, written and directed by.
Maybe this is the next.
This is a Finnish
movie to come out of nowhere. The next action movie.
Okay, so somebody we have never heard of.
Yeah,
before.
just like the Raids was the Indonesian action movie landscape. This guy's from Finland. Is there a Finnish action movie scene I don't know about? Maybe. Don't know a lot of.
They might be coming
94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking great. I almost
only an hour and a half.
Wow, see, good runtime.
Nice toy runtime.
And there's a shot in this trailer where he's like Wonder Woman, right? In that No Man's Land scene, he's holding up a shield and they're shooting at him. And then a great scene at the end where the guy's like, he buried all the mines here, and the Nazi's like, you and you go out there, and those fucking two guys just get blown. You see his leg go flying. Holy shit, this looks great. And the kills in this thing, it looks great. So Jamie Robinson liked it. I think we have the same tastes as him. It's a positive review.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
yes,
check it out.
As soon as it comes on streaming. It just came out in the theaters at the end of it.
There's a lot of these John Wick movies. Like there's you got Atomic Blonde come out, and then you had this other one, Nobody. Then you had Kate that was on Netflix with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. there's a lot of these John Wick movies
a la The Raid. It's just like another version, another evolution of it.
Yeah, you're just seeing the evolution of the genre.
Yeah. I mean, you can connect all the dots straight through all these movies.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, let's end with some what are we watching? Who's got something? Who wants to go first?
Oh, I got two that I watched.
Okie dokie.
One was on a whim. I saw that YouTube has it for free. The 80s classic, No Retreat, No Surrender, starring JCVD as the bad guy.
Get out of here. It's free on YouTube?
That's right. Some asshole put it on YouTube.
That happened in the Super Mario Brothers movie. Did you see that on Twitter?
And-
the whole movie uploaded on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
And the sound quality is not the greatest on it, but there's two cuts of this movie, and both cuts are terrible. This movie is so bad that it's great.
Okay.
It's almost like The Room with karate in it.
Get the fuck out. That's a great.
It is, dude. Amron,
it's a great description.
I defy you to
Makes
watch
me
this
wanna
movie
watch this.
and not do your own running commentary track.
Okay.
Well, I actually want to do that. This movie's so bad.
We should do it,
it's
Rod.
so great.
We should record it. 1985. No Retreat, No Surrender. Okay.
So, quick synopsis. It is basically like they rolled every movie. Like they rolled Rocky IV, Karate Kid, and some other movie all together in one. Basically, this kid, his father owns a dojo. The mafia wants the dojo because they want to use it as a front for some reason. And they never explain why.
Okay.
And the dad says no. So his dad gets fucked up and he decides to pack up and move out of California. And he goes to Seattle, which is for some reason where they end up going, and so happens to be the same place that Bruce Lee is buried.
Uh-huh.
And this boy is obsessed. He's a karate freak. He's obsessed with Bruce Lee. And even though karate and kung fu are two different things, whatever, there's no correlation. Anyhow, so he, just like Danny from fucking Karate Kid, ends up being on the wrong side of a karate gang. And he prays to the soul of Bruce Lee. And guess what? Bruce Lee visits him. The ghost of Bruce Lee visits him and trains him.
What?
No.
To
Is that
fight.
really what happens?
Yeah. This is exactly what happens. And it's so bad. It's so terrible. There's a fat kid that always has food on his face. And
who does Van Damme play then?
He's the bad guy. He's the big bad Russian that he has to beat for some reason that makes no sense whatsoever. It's fucking unbelievable.
There must be some great training montages in this.
And listen, it's free on YouTube. If you want to just watch a really terrible movie and just laugh, and it's just the right, everything is bad. They're supposed to be in Seattle and there's palm trees. It's like, it's got it all. It's got it all.
Here's the main question. The most important question. Does Van Damme do the splits in this movie?
He does it all.
Okay.
He does it all. And
that I approve.
The main character has a girlfriend that just they never announce until they need a girlfriend to be there. And it's all of a sudden,
it's amazing.
It feels like there's at least 4 major scenes missing from this movie.
It's awesome.
And it's just,
we should do it. What
great.
the fuck happened to this movie? This sounds amazing.
I remember watching it as a kid and it never came on again. It never came on and I never saw it. I'm like, No Retreat, No Surrender. Whatever happened to that movie? And I know what happened. And there's breakdancing in it. There was stereotypical characters of all that would never be allowed now. It is beyond, you gotta watch it's so terrible. It's so bad. You have to watch.
Wonderful.
So, and then to kind of get myself out of that, I had to watch something good.
Okay.
And, we're doing this tournament and, John Bellotti had commented that he watched the movie, wasn't really enthused about it. And I was like, so surprised by that. I made myself watch it again because I was
movie is this?
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Oh, Rogue Nation. It's in the tournament.
Yeah. So I was like, was I remembering this movie wrong? Because I remember coming out of the theater going, that shit was fucking crazy. Tom Cruise was doing all of his own stunts and he's a maniac. And so I watched it again and, I had a good time.
I remember it being a very good movie too. This is the one, where he has to holds his breath for 6 minutes for that underwater bomb disarming.
He holds on to the side of a plane as it takes off.
Oh yeah, that's that
He's
one
on a
too.
motorcycle.
He's hanging on the fucking
doing this
C-130.
crazy motorcycle sequence.
Yeah.
He's doing all of his own stunts and that shit. Dude, when he fucking climbs up the fucking side of the pipe and like vaults off of it when he's breaking out of the fucking thing, that was pretty badass. And the girl is hot in that movie.
She's great. I'll
She's a smoke
piggyback
show.
off that. Are those the two things you watched?
Yes.
So I watched 3 things in prep for the action movie tournament that we have coming up. One of them being also because of John Bellatti's prompt, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Had you seen? You've not seen this one, right?
I had not seen it before.
Okay.
I personally like Fallout better.
Yeah,
but I mean, all the stuff Ruggs mentioned, and the fact that it's Tom Cruise hanging off that plane and doing a motorcycle chase where he's basically like 3 inches off the ground going like 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, that one's good too.
I mean, I can see where Bellatti's going in that, like, it is a bit more of an involved plot. It's a very spy. It's kind of similar to Mission Impossible 1, in that there's a lot of these twists and turns and spy type stuff. So I can see if you're expecting a balls-to-walls action movie, it's not that. But I definitely didn't fall asleep watching it. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, this is the first Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible, and where we have Simon Pegg and Bing Rames.
I felt it was nicely balanced with, like, it had some humor in there.
Baldwin,
funny.
yeah.
It was, you know, but the bad guy was kind of like always a couple of steps ahead of Tom Cruise, and really making him having to like think about how he's going to fucking beat this guy. And there were some surprises when I'm like, why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, that's why he's doing it. And so I couldn't quite like anticipate when I was watching the movie, I couldn't anticipate everything. Like, they got me a couple of times, and I like that. So
they certainly got me.
Yeah, that's hard for a movie to do, but Rebecca Ferguson is the girl.
She's great. She's great.
I
mean, and what's great about her is she can kick ass.
Yeah.
She's not drop dead gorgeous. Like, I wouldn't rate her a 10.
But she's very attractive.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And then they add
pulls off the role, and then you don't really know she's doing the whole thing that they do in a lot of movies, but done well, where you don't know what side she's on.
Yep.
And you're questioning the whole thing the entire time.
Jeremy Renner's in this one too. I forgot about that.
He is, yeah. Jeremy Renner's
before the accident. Jeremy
and fucking what's his name? Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah, as like the head of the thing.
Head of the CIA.
I love this because it starts this chain of Rogue Nation, Fallout, now into Dead Reckoning 1 and 2. Like, it's this kind of continuing story. And McQuarrie and fucking Tom Cruise are a fantastic combination. He should 100%. Only make movies with fucking Christopher McQuarrie.
Or Joseph Kosinski.
Kosinski, who did Maverick. He's also good. Like, those two, that'd be great. I would love to see Kosinski do like a Marvel movie, or maybe even McQuarrie do a Marvel movie. I wonder if they do it.
I think they got too much.
They do have a lot.
They got too much creative freedom doing them.
Okay, what else did you watch?
Yeah.
Okay, so to prep for the tournament, and spoiler alert for the tourney, I'm now only watching movies in the tourney.
Okay.
I did Rambo.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That is...
Is that Rambo 6?
Which is Rambo 4.
4.
But it's just called Rambo.
Yeah.
And
I've not seen that one.
That's a fucking brutal movie, too.
Yeah. It's so dark.
It's a dark, like, it's... I mean, there's children getting shot. There's women getting raped. There's babies being thrown into fire. It is just a brutal fucking movie. But it makes when he fucking kills everyone so fulfilling at the end. Not the best acted movie, not the best cut movie, but a pretty good return to form for the Rambo series. So,
you could almost forgive the wig. You could almost.
Stallone wrote.
He's got perfect black hair in that movie.
He wrote and directed that one.
He did. Yeah,
interesting.
You can tell that the writing and directing aren't like best in terms of some of the dialogue and the way he cuts stuff, but he fucking swung for the fences with that one because it is unlike any Rambo movie.
I'm looking forward to watching
it. It's a memorable film.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's like, I remember it. Like, once you watch that movie, you're like, you don't forget, like, he's on that fucking thing and he's unloading with the heavy caliber shit.
That when he's doing that, I mean, it's almost like stand up and cheer because you'd seen everyone get mowed down before on that thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
great.
good. Very, very solid addition. I'm sure Ruggs was happy that we got Stallone now in 3 decades of worth of tournaments.
That's right.
But it was it's a worthy pick for sure.
Okay.
I think it's good. The next one I watched is also a Ruggs pushed movie that I enjoyed, and that is The Transporter. And
it's a good time.
That one's also pretty good. That's a good time. It's more closer to a 90s, 80s movie. The plot is just so cockamamie, it makes no fucking sense. But you definitely see Statham's abilities. Like there's some fight scenes where he's clearly doing the action. And you also get him in a scene where he gets oiled up shirtless.
That's worth the price of admission.
That always gives it points.
And then there's a very good-looking Chinese girl in the movie that just bangs him for no reason.
There's a reason.
She just wants to have sex with him.
Yeah.
So it's a fun movie. It's turn off your brain type fun.
I know I've watched this. I don't remember any of it, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But
I can't wait to watch it.
We were just talking about this guy, Louis Leterrier, directed, and
that's right.
Luc Besson wrote this fucking movie. It's crazy. I do remember this is the one where he deflects like a RPG with a fucking silver platter or something ridiculous.
Yes,
it's great.
Something like that.
I'm gonna watch it again.
It's a fun movie. It has kind of like that Hong Kong type stuff going on too.
Interesting.
But it's so of its time.
Yeah.
If not like a little past.
Well, it was
its time.
2002, early 2000s, right? So the 90s still bleeding in.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. I actually like it more than the other movie we have in there, which is Crank.
Fuck! I know I've seen this. I cannot remember this, so this will be fun to watch again.
Yeah, Transport is a fun movie because his character is great. Like he's a fucking driver. He's all serious, and he's
super serious.
And then he has this girl in the trunk, and and the asshole's trying to get at every turn, and he's kind of kicked their, and he just kind of like calmly kicks their asses, which is also great.
The opening scene where what Ruggs is mentioning how serious he is he's driver. He always needs to know the weight, like where it's going, and he'll never look at the package. While he has all these strict rules. So in the beginning of the movie, he's involved in a bank heist, and 4 guys get in the car, and he's like, "You guys said 3 guys," and he's just sitting there the whole time as the cops are closing in. He's like, you have the rules were 3 guys. I need 220 kilos. Adding a 4th guy is going to mess up the suspension when we're going downhill. He's like, I'm not driving. So then one of the dudes just shoots another dude in the head that just was in the robbery, kicks him out of the car. He's like, okay, now we can go. And that's just how the movie fucking starts.
Nice. Good setup.
He's got his rules.
He's got his rules.
Follow the rules.
But then the movie falls apart for him because he breaks some of his own rules, and that's when the Chinese girl comes in.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Wow. You're going to be.
And would you watch anything, Imran?
Yeah. I watched one thing because Ruggs, I remember several weeks ago you called me out for not being up on all the Indian representation on the screen.
That's right, Imran.
Specifically, this new show on Amazon called Citadel, starring Priyanka Chopra Jonas. So you have to put the Jonas on the end of that fucking thing. Just go Priyanka Chopra. She's smoking hot, by the way. And Richard Madden is in this. Stanley Tucci also in this. The first 2 episodes are out on Amazon Prime. This is a $300 million TV show. First of all. Oh, shit. That was the budget. Lots of money.
How many episodes?
Well, there may be like 8 or 10. They're coming out every week. There's only 2 out. And essentially the story is there's this spy agency called Citadel that's like higher than the CIA and everything. And they actually run everything. And the villain spy agency called Manticore has completely killed everybody who works for Citadel. There's a big train crash scene in the first episode. People's memories are wiped, and we pick up 8 years later where Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra's character were together. They were spies, but both of their memories have been wiped, and Stanley Tucci comes looking for them, and there's a case with liquid that'll give you back your memories, and he's got to go and find this case and save Citadel and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? For $300 million, it was just okay. I don't know. It's very cliche.
It didn't wow you.
So far in the 2 episodes, it's like... And the Russo brothers have produced this. Like, it's all right. It has the potential to get better, but I just didn't see anything like new, really.
first episode should fucking nail it, like rope you in.
There's a crazy scene on the train, and some of the drama is compelling in the beginning, but it gets very convoluted very quickly, and a lot of MacGuffins, and
I've heard about this show too.
I don't know. But Priyanka Chopra is great to watch, so I may still watch, because she's kind of badass in this. I will admit, some of the got her doing some fight choreography, and she's fucking brutal. And yeah, so that's your basic spy. It's a spy show.
Glad that you watched it.
But $300 million. Holy shit! That's like what they spent on Lord of the Rings. What are they going to give me? So I'll keep watching it. Hopefully it gets better. But that was it. I haven't watched any more action movies because I was watching The Raid 2. It was long. It's very long.
I did the math, and I have, I think, 16 or 17 that I have to watch.
Oh,
so
boy.
I'm trying to knock out 2 or 3 a week.
You got to do at least 2 a day. No, I don't know.
No, not 2 a day.
See, like, I'm an asshole, and I'll just get distracted by No Retreat, No Surrender and watch
that's not even in the tournament. It's the wrong, wrong decade.
I watch Expendables 2. That's not in the tournament.
What are you doing? It wasn't even in the 80s tournament, that fucking movie.
Well, I think I've seen all of these movies anyway, but, like, I should refresh myself.
Everybody go
just to,
refresh
like, give
yourself.
everybody a fair shake.
Yes. Slap some.
No, it's been, I will say the last couple 2 weeks or so that I've been watching these have been fun.
Yeah.
To watch all these different ones. The thing is, like, when you watch these and then you watch something like The Raid or John Wick, you have to almost kind of change the way you think about the movies when you watch some of the older stuff, just because they set the bar so high that you have to kind of transport yourself back to, okay, I didn't ever see The Raid, or I didn't ever see John Wick. I can watch something like Rambo or Transporter and not expect that.
I mean, but even watching newer stuff, it kind of ruins newer things, because the bar they set is like, you're like, this is what you're going to do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like what the Wachowskis did. They, like, took all this stuff from, like, all these other influences, put it in their movie, and it took a while for some other movie to, like, rise above The Matrix.
Yeah.
And now we're levels and levels above that now. So that's crazy.
It's a good time for the action movie genre. All right, that's it for this week, everybody. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come follow, come retweet.
All those links to things are in the episode description of this episode and on our website, jockandnerd.com/484. If you're looking for any episode links, just type in the number of the episode and it will take you there. Most importantly, though, listeners, share this show with your action movie fan buddies and watch The Raid. And thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll beep you next time.
Oh my God!
Yes. I see that you know your judo well.
That's all he does. Jock and Nerd.